Hi, everybody. Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm so excited to be with you here today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Midland, Texas, and I have a great online class for you this week using the Sunrise Sailings bundle. This is a bundle that is an online exclusive. It's fabulous. Very summery, tends to be more masculine, which a lot of times we're looking for. And I hope you enjoy watching me today make the cards that I have in store for you. Before we get started, hi, Christina. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk to you a little bit about some upcoming events. You guys are always so gracious to allow me to do that. First of all, you guys know that I had a fundraiser last week where I was giving all my commissions to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. And you guys have just stepped up in big ways, and I just want you to know how grateful I am for you for that. Lots of you placed orders and lots of you sent donations to me, and I can't even tell you how meaningful it is to me that you guys would like to partner with me in helping those the people and the girls, people from Kerrville and the surrounding areas, the girls from Mystic Camp who passed away. I am honored that I get to do something to help them where they're at. So thank you for coming alongside for me. I will get back to you later this week when I tally my fundraising amount and let you know how much I was gifted to contribute to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. Next, we have a huge craft along coming up at the end of July. The last day to register is this Wednesday. This craft along is packed. There are 8 projects, 4 from the Tractor and Company bundle. That is a new online exclusive, and 4 from the Jolly Holly bundle that is also an online exclusive. Plus, you get almost $50 in product to craft along with me, and we provide everything you need in order to have a nice craft along experience with us. This event will start on June the 28th. Through June the 31st. I said June. July the 28th through July the 31st. We'll do 2 projects a day with you on Facebook and YouTube. You can craft along with us and join in the fun. So, think about that. I will put the link to that up in the description after this video is over. And I am announcing right now that I'm going to do the You Are God's Masterpiece, Creating for Christ card class. Great. Christy, hi. Thanks for joining me. Is it the same Christina as Christina Fullen? Lori Kemp, hi. Yeah, I can see that your profile picture is the same. Great. I hope it's streaming okay on YouTube, but thanks for joining me on Facebook. So Creating for Christ is a group of crafters on Facebook, and every month the admin, who's Rhonda Wade and Julie Selva, come out with a class to go, and oftentimes my customers ask me if I will put together card kits for them to do this class with me. So I'm planning on doing that. This class in person will be on Friday, August 15th from 6:30 to 10 p.m., or you can get it to go in the mail. Now, also, this class includes 6 cards and 1 frame decor item. You can add on the frame in the registration if you wish, and I will order them all and get those out to you. I just want to provide this opportunity for this beautiful God-inspired class about telling people you love that they are God's masterpiece. I love that scripture, and this is going to be a beautiful class using the beautiful gallery paper and the beautiful blooms stamp set, as well as the Faith Collection stamp set as well. You can add those on as well in the registration if you need any of those. So I hope you love this class, and there will be another Christmas card class coming up in August as well. I do one every month. It is a beautiful class. You're right, Christina. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to move to my hands here. We are using this week, Monica and I, my friend Monica Gabberti and I collaborate on our online classes every week to save us time and energy, and we trust each other with designing, which is great. This bundle, said that because we spent quite a long time on the phone this week trying to settle on what we were doing for our online class to go this week. And the problem is a lot of things are selling out, and we want to make sure that if you want the stamp set or the bundle, you can get it, right? So this class, we will be using the Sunrise Sailing stamp set, which includes, as a bundle, these dies. You get large sailboats and small sailboats and smaller sailboats. You get 3 sizes of sailboats. You get some seagulls, some clouds, and some waves, die cut waves too. This also includes this awesome hybrid embossing folder. So not only does it emboss, but you can also add the die. Let me show you this, the sailboat die in here. Maybe I have it upside down. I do. You can add the die in here, and it will die cut and emboss at the same time, which is a cool feature of our hybrid embossing folders. Okay, so that is very fun. We are going to use the hybrid embossing folder today, but we're not going to use it to die cut and until tomorrow. Okay, let me get this back on here. Okay, right there. So, but we'll see some hybrid embossing folder action today in our cards. I also did a class on this last month using the Boho Vibes DSP. That was super fun. But today we are using the Neutrals 6x6 paper pack. Comes with blues and greens and grays and khakis. You get that Blackberry Bliss in there. I think you get 2 of each color of each pattern. Okay, so this is the DSP that we're using today, and oftentimes we're going to be using the back sides of these, okay, to give us our waves and designs. All right, okay, so we are going to start with 3 cards today. All 3 of these cards are fairly easy to put together. Tomorrow we will have a fun fold, and on Wednesday we will have a 3D item. Okay, so this is our first card for the day. Isn't that fun? I love the reds and navies and khakis together. It definitely has a nautical feel towards it. We're going to be using this week this duo pack of Misty Moonlight and White Ribbon, and a little bit of this red and white Baker's Twine. Okay, so let's get started on card number 1. This is card number 1. We are going to start with, and the elements that I'm using, embellishments, are the Riverside Irregular Pearls. Monica used a different set, and I didn't have them. So this is what I'm choosing to use, and I think it looks beautiful with it. I think it's a great combination. All right, so I have a piece of Misty Moonlight here, cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, and then we have a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I'm going to add a piece of this Misty Moonlight DSP. This is cut 3 by 5 1/4, and my crumb cake is cut 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, I'm going to add some Seal Plus to the edge here, and I'm going to line it up exactly on the edge of that crumb cake card base there. Okay, just gives it something to hold on to. And then I have a piece of real red that is 1/2 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to add this right over the edge of where those two pieces intersect, right there. There we go. See how our edges look? They look great. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Ooh, I almost made a mistake. I'm going to grab my waves here, my wave stamp, and I'm going to stamp some waves at the bottom of this DSP right here. It's going to be what the sailboat sits on. So it looks like it's sitting on water. There we go. All right, so now I can take this panel and I can pop it up right here on the front of my card with some dimensionals. So did you guys have a great weekend? You guys know my husband had some surgery on Thursday. My son came into town on Friday to help me help him stay rested like he should. He's doing great, by the way. Today's first day. He's kind of gotten up and out a little bit, which is nice for him. We had my granddaughter's birthday party on Saturday. Her birthday is today. So we are also at church kicking off Vacation Bible School. So it's been a busy last few days, but it's been great. Okay, there we go. There's the basics behind the card front, right? Then I have this circle cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. I used the very largest circle right here. And then I ran it through the embossing folder that's called Soft Waves embossing folder, okay? So this is going to get popped up right here on the front of my card base. Okay, I'm going to have it go right like that so the waves are kind of horizontal there. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is take my Misty Moonlight ribbon and I'm going to do a flat faux bow. So I'm going to faux bow, but I'm not going to twist it in the center. I'm just going to let it go back and forth here. Okay, so this is going to go right here. And I'm going to add a piece of Terran tape to the center to just kind of hold it in place for me. I'm going to make sure I do this horizontally so that my label will cover up my Terran tape. It's sticking to my finger. Can't get it off. That's how powerful that Terran tape is, right? Okay, so here we go. There we go. I'm going to go right like that. There we go. Hold it in place for just a second, all right? Next, I have a label that I cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the skinny of the inside labels. Thanks, Raj. You're so sweet. Okay, I have the word ahoy that I am going to stamp in real red. I love real red. Not even just for Christmas, but I mean, it's a very popular Christmas color. But I love red. Okay, so ahoy! Ahoy, matey! Saying hello in ship language. Okay, and this is going to get adhered right here over that ribbon, and I'm going to put dimensionals on either side of this ahoy. And then just bridge it right over that ribbon. There we go, right like that. Okay. Now I have some scraps here, And on this piece of basic white, what did I cut this? Like 2 3/4 by 4 is the size of that. I'm going to grab my ship outline here, and I'm going to stamp it in not any of those colors. I want my Night of Navy. Where did I set that? Night of Navy. Doesn't look like I have it on my shelf, so I must have it out here somewhere. So I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. Sometimes I set it to the side and, oh, look, guys. It's right here in front of me. Sheesh Louise. All right, so I'm going to stamp it up. You guys probably think Judy would lose her head. That's what my mom used to say. Judy, you would lose your head if it wasn't attached. Probably so. She was probably right. Okay, so there is my Night of Navy sailboat. Then I'm taking my sail here, and I'm going to stamp it in real red. And add some stripes to my sail. There we go. Oh, I love that, don't you? And then I'm going to grab my crumb cake, and I'm going to put a little crumb cake in my boat here. And I've learned with this skinny little piece that goes inside here, it's good to get a little higher than you think you should. There we go. Okay, so there's my sailboat. I'm going to grab my sailboat die here. I'm going to grab a piece of Post-it note tape. And secure it right where I want it to be here. And run it through my die cutting machine over here. All right, now this is going to sit right here on top of the waves and below that circle, right like that. Okay, so there's a little trick to this because this is popped up, the circle, and the label here is popped up as well. So my sail here, I need a dimensional here and here to kind of hold it over that label. But then my base of my boat right here, I'm going to double up my dimensionals because it's sitting on the base and there are two popped up levels here. So we're just going to try to even that all out. Okay, so I'm going to put one here at the top. I'm going to put one over here on the side, and then here along the bottom, I'm going to grab my minis, grab them out of my box here, and I'm going to double stack them. So I'm going to put one and one, pull off the top of those, and one here and one here. Okay. So I'm going to take off all my toppers. I'm going to adhere that right, maybe even a little bit lower, right like that. So it looks like it's sitting on the water, right? And by double stacking that underneath the boat here, it keeps everything all balanced and even on the front of my card, okay? So now for the inside of my card, it's very simple. All I'm doing is taking let me make sure that's the right size. Yep, 4x5 1/4 piece of basic white. And I'm just grabbing my Night of Navy ink and I'm just adding some waves at the bottom. Something inside, but keeping it very simple on this one, okay? Let me add some adhesive to the back of this one. And I will be done with card number 1. There we go. Okay, so there's card number 1, except for I need some embellishments here, don't I? So let's grab some of these, and I'm grabbing these that are a little more on the white side right here. And I'm going to put 2 up here. Oops, I almost picked a gray one. Right there. And then 1 right down here like that. So that is card number 1. Do you guys like that? I think it's super fun. Super fun. So let's put that aside. I'm going to pull out card number 2. And card number 2 has a little more of a brown theme here. So this is "You Are Destined to Do Great Things," and just has the DSP on the inside, right? So we are going to start with a card base that is in crumb cake. I think this is a great card for a young man going off to college or someone who's just graduated, right? Like, you're destined for great things. I love that. Okay. So I have a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4.25. Okay. I have another piece of crumb cake that is 4 by 5.25. It's going to go on top here. But before I put that on top, I have a piece of early espresso that's that blotted paper. It's the opposite side of the flowers here, okay? So I'm going to adhere this on the bottom edge of this crumb cake panel that's going to go on the front here, right here. And then I'm going to grab my paper snips and I am going to run it and rough up my edges. It's going to add some needed texture to this card. Sorry, I think I was just off camera. I'm just rubbing the edge of my blade across the edges. Okay, I'm grabbing my white ribbon and I'm going to tie a bow over here on the left-hand side. I haven't been sailing in a really, really long time. I used to go boating with some friends in Nebraska. We would go to the Lake of the Ozarks and they had a boat. So if you can't own your own boat, it's a good thing to have a friend who does, right? So they allowed us to vacation with them and we have some really good memories of our kids growing up together. But it's probably been 10 years since I've been boating, so I love it. I mean, other than cruising on cruise ships, which in my mind is way different, right? Okay, so there we go. I've wrapped my white ribbon around. I'm going to wait a second to cut those tails off here, but I'm going to move it as far over to the left as I can, right there. Then this is going to get adhered flat to my card front. And as usual, my Seal Plus just ran out. So I have another one on backup. Here we go. Okay, so there's my card base so far. I'm going to cut these tails off a little bit shorter here. Okay. There we go. So now I have a piece of early espresso that I cut with those textured labels dies. Let me see if I have them sitting right here. They are newer. They are awesome. I've bought 2 sets because I know I'm going to use them at all. But there's all these rectangles that have lots of different kinds of embossed edges around them. So different sizes, and they all have a little bit of different texture around the edges there. If you don't have these yet, you need them. All right. So I've got a piece that I cut from Early Espresso. I have a piece of DSP that fits right inside, and it is 3 7/8 by 2 3/8, and it's that crumb cake pattern. I'm going to add some seal to the back of this and add this to the inside here of that frame. All right, now I have another frame here that I cut out of basic white, and it is going to go right inside of this. But first, I'm going to stamp "You Are Destined to Do Great Things" in Early Espresso ink. Okay? You're destined for great things. It's going to go right here on this side of it. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back of this and add it to my card front here. Let me get the regular size of dimensionals. Here we go. So we have a family dinner for Lucy's birthday tonight. And then we have Vacation Bible School at church Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. So busy week ahead of us here. My son will be here until tomorrow night. He and Jim are out to lunch today. Okay, so then I've cut 2 pieces here from pecan pie. I cut the die cut that has half of a sail and the base of the boat here and the mast. And then I have a basic beige that I cut for the sail. And the nice thing is, because they added this sail to the side, we can attach our sail right where it needs to be on top of that sailboat. Okay, but before we attach that, we are going to need to clean this stripe off from the red. I'm going to add some stripes on this in pecan pie. So we're using all the neutral browns today on this card, just for a different look. I'm going to add some stripes to my sailboat here. There we go. This is going to get adhered on top of this piece. Oh, that's the one that doesn't work. I need to put that way over there. Okay. It's going to get added right on to the top here. And then this is going to get, oh, what happened to my sailboat? It went wonky on me. Okay, this is going to get adhered right here next to "You're Destined to Do Great Things." So because this is so skinny right here, I'm going to take the very edge here of my minis, and I'm just going to slice off a thin strip like that. I want it to fit right inside the base of this sailboat to kind of hold it up on the front of the card right there. Okay, then I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to my sails. And then this whole thing is going to get popped up onto this label that I've been making. There we go. And then this whole label is going to get popped up over my ribbon on my card front. So I'm going to kind of have the house to myself today, which is going to be nice. Carson and Jim. Carson is my son, and Jim just went out to lunch, and then they were going to go see the Superman movie, which I have no interest in seeing. I don't know, maybe you guys can convince me otherwise, but I still love the old Superman. So I'm having trouble transitioning to this one. Okay, you're destined for great things right there. Let me clean the sail off. Have any of you out there seen the Superman movie yet? I don't really know a lot about it. So for the inside, I just cut a piece of that DSP that models what we have here on the front of the card. I'm going to add some adhesive and just adhere this right here to the bottom of my card base. And then adhere this to the inside. So like I said, all three of the cards we're doing today are pretty simple, really. Very classic designs. Tomorrow will be a fun fold. And then Wednesday will be our 3D. Okay, so I'm going to add some embellishments. And this time I'm adding those whites one more time to this. I'm going to add a large and a very small one right here in this corner, and then a large one in the opposite corner here, right there. So there's card number 2. What do you guys think about this in the browns? I have mixed feelings about it, but I can see how it kind of gives it a rustic feel, right? Which I kind of like. Okay, so that's card number 2. We set that aside. Card number 3 is this one right here. So we're going to use the hybrid embossing folder to make the front of this happen today. So this is what the card number 3 looks like. It says best wishes. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is the hybrid embossing folder. And I'm going to show you how we get that white on there. Okay. And oh, good. I kind of like it too, Roz. It grew on me as we started designing it. So, okay. So this one just says best wishes, right? Great for retirement, someone moving to a new place, right? All of those things. Lots of reasons why you can say best wishes to somebody, right? Okay. So here we go. This time I have that beautiful real red card base. 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4, and I have a basic beige panel, and this is cut 3 3/4 by 5.5, and so normally we do 4 by 5.5, but we want a little more room on either side of this front panel. Okay, so it's cut a little bit shorter. Then I have this piece of our designer series paper in Night of Navy, the blotchy piece. It's going to go right here on this side this time. Okay. Right like that. All right. I'm taking my Misty Moonlight ribbon here, and I'm just going to wrap it around this card front and adhere it in the back. So it's just going to act like that piece of real red did on the first card, except it's going to be ribbon, and this is also going to help us with, so I just put a little seal on either end, wrapped it around, and pushed it into that seal to hold it in place, right like that. Okay. This is going to get popped up on the front of our card base here. So let me grab some dimensionals for that. Sometimes I'm really shocked at how quickly I go through dimensionals. I feel like I'm opening a new package all the time, which is a big reason why I choose to use my edges here, right? Because I go through them like water. There we go, right like that. Put something in the center to kind of hold it up. Now, I have a friend that never takes off the back of the center portion, but she says it lifts without having to do that. But I don't know. I like to take mine off. Okay, so this is going to go here. And you can see it's a little tighter at the top and bottom than it is on the sides right there. All right. Okay, so before I forget, I'm going to grab my baker's twine that's red and white and cut off a piece. And I'm going to slip this under this ribbon and tie it in a bow. It's going to end up being a little more towards the top here. Okay. And I'll be able to slide this up and down if I need to adjust where it is. That's one of the beauties of these types of bows. Call them slider bows because they're not glued and you can move them up and down as you need to. Okay. Take my ends off. There we go for that. All right. So what I've got here is a piece of basic white that's 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, and it's going to go right here on our card front. I can tell already I need to move that up a little bit, okay? And then this is the piece that we're going to emboss. So I'm going to grab my hybrid embossing folder here. I'm going to switch my plates out. So if you're using a hybrid embossing folder, you're going to want to use plate number 1 and plate number 4. You don't need that plate number 2 because of the thickness that's in the hybrid embossing folder already. Okay, so I'm going to grab this Night of Navy panel and I'm going to put it in to the embossing folder, and I want my sailboat to be a little bit more to the right than the center or the left. Okay, so I'm going to shut this, see where it's at. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, do you see what I mean? I want the sailboat a little bit more to the right than to the left. Okay, I'm going to run this through my machine here. There we go. So there's my embossed, okay? So to make that stand out a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my white craft ink and I'm going to start off the edge here and I'm going to carefully just pull this across that card front like that, okay? I'm going to do it again, going this other way. Just pull it right across the card front like that, okay? And it's going to really highlight those areas that are popped up. Now, I can tell I've got a little bit more white here, and so what I did is I just ran my finger over those areas and made it look a little foggy in the background. Just kind of lightened it up with my finger a little bit. But I really like the look of this, how it just highlights those areas that we want it to really make those clouds and those birds and that sailboat really pop like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so new technique for you there. Maybe not new to some of you, but it was fun. Okay, so now I'm going to add this piece to this basic white panel that I cut that was 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so I'm gonna add my seal here. You guys know I don't like to press into my embossed panels, so I always put the adhesive on the base that it's going on to. There we go. And there's my sailboat, okay? You get a little more white or a little less white depending on how hard you push, but I think it's beautiful. It really gives just like a very, what do I want, impressionistic kind of look to it there, okay? That's too big of a word for me, but you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so now this is gonna get flat right on that card base right there, okay? We want it to go flat. So I'm going to add my seal to this. I'm going to kind of avoid the very edges because they hang off a little bit. And just adhere that right like that on the front of my card. So pretty, right? I've got another one of those stitched stylish shapes labels, the skinny one. And this time I am going to stamp Best Wishes in real red. Have you guys ever done that technique before where you run the ink pad over the embossed panel? It doesn't have to be a sailboat. You could do it on any of our embossing folders if you just want to highlight the raised image that's in it. Okay, so I've got Best Wishes here, and I'm going to stamp this in real red on my label. There we go. And then this is going to get popped up right here next to my sailboat, okay, with some dimensionals. Maybe I taught some of you something new there. Okay, so I'm going to put dimensionals on either side of my label. Right like that. I'm going to scatter on some gray dots here. And then another small gray one kind of right up here. There we go. Now, for the inside of our card, we have a piece of basic white cut 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to stamp some seagulls in the bottom corner here. And I'm going to do that in what color? Let's do it in Night of Navy. So I guess no one's seen Superman yet, huh? I'm going to stamp some seagulls kind of flying right down here in this corner, right like that. Fun. It's been nice having Carson here because Jim likes to watch a lot of Netflix shows and things on television, and he's really been able to have some company with him while he's convalescing, right, and recovering. So that's been a nice thing about having Carson here, and he's such a joy anyway. So okay, so here's the last of our 3 cards. Let me know what you think. Here's card number 3, here's card number 2, and here's card number 1. Give me some thumbs up and some hearts out there if you enjoyed this class today. Pretty simple. Hi, Mary. I've missed you coming to my Facebook Lives. Nice to see you. Let me know what you think of the Sunrise Sailing cards from today. Share me out to your friends. Give me some love and some likes. And I am planning on being back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for our Fun Fold card, and so join me. I'll put a little reminder on the Facebook page so that you know that I'll be here tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed today's creations. I think they're super fun. And every week you can get this class to go, whatever class I'm doing that week, with any $50 order in my online store. And if you do 60, then you get the embellishments for free. So I throw those in for free. So you get everything you need to make all 5 projects every week. So thanks, Sue. Thanks for coming, right? I'm glad you like the cards. You'll have to watch. They're pretty simple today. Tomorrow is the fun fold, and Wednesday is the 3D item. So God bless, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Bye-bye.